So, it was 1997 and I was at the movies watching only the second movie I was watching in theaters, in actual theaters in my life. The first one was George of the Jungle, and the second one was 007 Tomorrow Never Dies. And this is when I saw this poster. And since I was just a 9-year-old from Brazil, I didn't understand English very well at the time, but I knew that Alien Ressurrection, it meant something like Ressurreição in Portuguese. That only meant that we are gonna have an Alien 4 coming very soon. Remember, this is the time we didn't have internet, trailers, TV spots available everywhere. So sometimes to know that a new movie was coming was a real surprise, and in this case was really unexpected, because I didn't know they were doing an Alien 4. Remember those times that we could be surprised by the release of a new movie? Yeah, I also miss those times. But anyway, you might think that I got very excited about this new Alien movie, but at the time I was really scared. In fact, frightened of the creature Alien and the 3 previous movies of the franchise. In fact, I avoided to see any of those movies by any way I could. After all, I was just a child, and my love for the Alien only developed in the following years. So when I went to see George of the Jungle, I knew that they couldn't play the trailer of Alien Ressurrection in a children's movie, so I was relaxed about that. But then when I went to see 007, I was kinda tense because I knew it was very possible that they played the trailer before the movie. And I knew that if the trailer of Alien Resurrection was played, I was gonna piss my pants right there in the movie theater. And they didn't play it. I only remembered that they played the trailers of Titanic and Spawn, and that didn't scare me at all. So that went well, but I still carried with me the idea that we are gonna have an Alien 4. And my mind keep only wondering, why they're doing another Alien movie? They already scared the living shit out of me with this alien creature in other movies. But in that same year when the movie was released in VHS and my aunt rented in the video store, I finally decided to face my fears and watch an Alien movie. Because to be honest, I was fearful of the alien creature, but I didn't really watch the previous movies like I said. I only remember so-so of the third one. And when I watched Alien Ressurrection in the VHS in my house, for the first time I thought, you know what? I don't fear Alien anymore. This movie is so bizarre and kinda bad that it took my fear away. Thank you, Alien Resurrection. Then in the next years, I finally watched the 3 previous movies and I fell in love with the whole franchise. So, thank you even more. So here's the deal. In August, we're gonna have the release of Alien Romulus, a new Alien official movie in the franchise. So, I thought, what better time to talk about this franchise that I love so much than now? Go in detail in each movie of the first 4 at least, do all the nerd things that we love to do in analyzing these movies. And since the Alien franchise has this peculiarity that with each movie the quality and the satisfaction factor decreased, I decided to go from the last to the first, because then we can have more excitement with each new video, and not the otherwise. So, Alien Ressurrection. Let's go straight to it. It's a mess, but what a fun mess, I think. This movie was originally meant to be directed by Danny Boyle, director of movies like Trainspotting, Shallow Grave, and a great director that would fit perfectly in the pantheon of directors in the first 4 films of the franchise. But he disagreed with many ideas from the original script and decided to pass, which I truly believe that eventually gave him the idea to do his own sci-fi space movie with Sunshine, a very good sci-fi movie that has a script from Alex Garland. And it has a great cast with a plot that gets some elements from the Alien movies, so he would have been great as a director in the franchise. Then 20th Century Fox decided to hire the director Jean-Pierre Jeunet, a French director that is an extreme visualist, with movies like Delicatessen, or City of the Lost Children, and even Amélie Poulain, which is a movie that he used the money that he got from Alien Ressurrection to finance the production, since it was a very dear project of his. But like I said, his movies have these extreme, distinct visuals with elements of cyberpunk, matte paintings, gorgeously directed and put together. So rightfully so, 20th Century Fox decided that he would be a great candidate for the direction of the fourth movie. And you know what? Different than many directors that have this distinct vision for their own movies, Jean-Pierre Jeunet actually enjoyed the whole experience. In his interviews, you see that he talks very fondly about the whole shooting experience because he really did it for fun. In fact, Alien Resurrection is such a huge leap away from his own vision that he says that the experience was like to shoot a commercial, a big commercial for a company. And let's be honest here, he's kinda right, because Alien Resurrection is nothing more than an excuse to keep the rights of the Alien franchise going and the awareness of these movies not vanish from the viewer's perspective. That being said, indeed it is a huge commercial movie, bombastic, filled with visual effects, but that still holds some kind of strange French sensitivity from the director, especially in the humor of the movie. And this is indeed the most funny of the original franchise and the least scary of all. In fact, it isn't scary at all. It's just a fun gore fest. The story takes place 200 years after the events of Alien 3 and the death of the Lieutenant Ellen Ripley. But since the company, which is not Weyland-Yutani anymore, had a sample of her blood from that movie, they cloned her, and since that blood sample was taken when Ripley was pregnant with the Alien Queen in the third movie, she also was reborn with the Alien Queen in her womb. Which for me doesn't make too much sense, but whatever, what other option they had, right? This is when a team of space pirates comes to the ship of the company, bringing some smuggled cryotubes from another ship with normal passengers, so that these people are used in experiences with the eggs laid by the Alien Queen. So finally in the franchise, the company was able to start experimenting with the alien creature, something that they always try to get their hands on since the first movie. Of course, all hell breaks loose because you can't keep xenomorphs in any place without something going wrong, so this group of pirates join forces with Ellen Ripley the clone because she also has some superpowers inherited from the xenomorph itself. And let me just say, Alien Resurrection is a movie that I don't think really takes advantage of all its great ideas. And I do believe it has great ideas. The script was written by none other than Joss Whedon, a guy that no one wants to talk about anymore these days, but in the past it made some enjoyable movies like Serenity, which I truly believe that he took the idea of the space pirates from Alien Resurrection and put in his own franchise, and of course Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and of course the two first Avenger movies. So that's why this movie is so funny and has so many quips all the time during the script. And I think it's too ironic, although a little fascinating, that we have the sensibilities of a screenwriter that loves play with comedy in his dialogues, and a French director with strange and visually interesting movies. So the two things don't jive at all, but that's what I think it makes Alien Resurrection so unique. I remember reading the first original script from Joss Whedon to this movie, and it was even more exaggerated and filled with scenes that were completely nonsense and even more quips and funny dialogue. It was a bad script in my opinion because it was too episodic. The characters just went from one action piece to another action piece all the time. And you kind of feel this here in Alien Resurrection, but I think they condensed the whole script much more to be a little more solid. For example, there was going to be a scene with aliens in an artificial rainforest that was in a section of the ship, and the characters would drive a huge car, kind of like a tank, through this forest, shooting aliens all around like a huge park ride, completely exaggerated. And the ending was quite different, with the alien newborn, that we're gonna talk soon here in the video, was going to enter the atmosphere of Earth along with the characters, and the ship would crash in a huge junkyard, I believe. Then Ripley was gonna take this huge vehicle, very Aliens style, basically a plagiarized scene of it, and fight the newborn with Annalie Call. But anyway, I still think the movie has many great ideas that just are not very well developed. This is an escape movie like all the others in the franchise. The characters have to escape from the aliens that are taking over the ship. So during their trajectories, there are very interesting setbacks and challenges they have to face. I like the fact that they have a wheelchair guy as a member of the Space Pirates, and inadvertently he causes problems for the other ones to move because they have to carry him. A very good idea, but not very well used. We also have this character that has an alien inside him, and he was part of the crew that had their cryotubes smuggled by the Space Pirates. And this is another great element of the script because it presents itself as a challenge for the group of characters, because they have to run to get to their own ship and freeze the guy before the alien comes out of his chest. So this is kind of a time bomb that they are carrying around. And the whole thing of the cloning of Ellen Ripley, in here she is called Ripley 8, because she was the 8th attempt in the cloning process by the scientists. It's also a great idea because it puts her in a similar level in terms of strength, speeds, and power as the aliens. But the whole thing is kind of disappointing because it's taken in this comedic tone, with Ripley playing basketball and things like that. I mean, it had a lot of potential if it was taken a little more seriously, because this is a completely different character. It's not Ripley from the 3 previous movies. So I think they missed the opportunity to give her a little more drama, something that could be interesting for other directors to carry forward in the franchise. Not that she doesn't have her great moments. I particularly like 2 of her lines here. One when she talks with the Ron Perlman character, which by the way is also great in this movie, and he asks her about the time that she dealt with the alien creature before and what she did in that occasion. And she says, "I died." Also, I love when she explains to the guy who is pregnant with the alien what his condition is, and he asks, "Who are you?" Then she says, "I'm the monster's mother." So the movie has its highlights. I also like the character of Winona Ryder, Annalie Call, and I do believe it's a great twist in the middle of the movie when it is revealed that she is actually a synthetic robot. Because again, the script hints a lot of things about her relationship with Ripley. There is a little bit of romantic thing going on, it looks like, although I don't see it too much, but I think they hint a little bit of a more deeper undertone in the idea that the main character is a clone of an alien and the other is a robot, and both are kind of fighting to prevent this creature from killing other humans. There is a scene in the movie where both of these characters are in a church and they almost have a great discussion with the idea that the robot kind of cares for the humanity. And Ripley is completely detached of this idea because she's not a human anymore. So there is a little bit of back and forth between the two about this whole concept. But again, they don't go deep in it. They don't take advantage of these amazing themes that would make this movie much better. In an extended version of this scene, there's even a moment where Ripley talks about a lost memory of a little girl that she tried to save in the past, and we all know she's talking about Newt from the second movie, but now, again, she's so detached that it is a far and distant memory. And talking about the action set pieces, they are good. Not great, but they are interesting. My favorite one is where the characters climb this ladder that will take them to an upper level of the ship, and the alien is right behind them, also climbing the ladder. And it's very vertical in its style, and I like this kind of scenes. This takes place right after the swimming scene in the movie where we have aliens underwater for the first time in the franchise. And it's an okay scene. I like it because it's different, but it has CGI aliens for the first time in the whole franchise, and we all know this thing doesn't work very well. It could be a very scary scene to have aliens swimming underwater because they are fast, but the whole thing is too bright and the CGI aliens don't work. And we could not forget to mention the new version of the alien in the end of the movie, that is the newborn, a xenomorph that has more human characteristics, including facial expressions and eyes. So basically they took the alien and removed the most scary element of it, that is the fact that the creature doesn't have eyes. They also made him a big baby that loves his mother, that he considers to be Ripley. And listen, I don't like the visual of this alien at all, but again, it's an element that could have worked if they had given enough time to breathe. The whole appearance of this newborn is just a throwaway that they needed to do something different in the end. It has its moments, but it goes by so fast that it doesn't have any relevance in the franchise itself. And this is it. Alien Resurrection is a movie that is fun, although it's a mess. There are many good moments and good ideas, but it's the movie that also took the fear away from the alien, at least for a 9-year-old boy like I was at the time. That's why the franchise couldn't be salvaged in another sequel from here. They chose to go back, now they are doing movies in between the other movies. No one wants to carry out the strange legacy that this movie gave us, which I get it. After all, what else can you do to surpass the scene where Brad Dourif, yes, our dear actor that plays the voice of Chucky in the Child's Play franchise, has this lovely moment with aliens behind a glass. And I love the scene, don't get me wrong, but it's just too weird and bizarre. And what about you? What do you think about Alien Ressurrection? Do you like it? Don't you like it? Comment below. And I'm planning to talk about the other 3 movies in this original franchise until the release of Alien Romulus. And I'm not gonna talk about the Alien vs Predator movies because I don't want to waste my time. And I also won't talk about Prometheus and Alien Covenant because although I believe those movies have their own good ideas and good elements, I just don't like them and I'm not excited to talk about them. So here you go. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a like in this video if you are liking the content of Trashing with Gus. See you in the next trashy video and bye bye.